I seen a video on YouTube recently of another YouTuber opening up about her ghost paranormal story experiences that she's had, and I figured I would share a few stories of my experiences with you. This was about, I'm gonna say, probably at least 4 years ago. My daughter, she was still in her crib. She was just a baby, and she was in the room next door to me sleeping, because this was in the evening. And I had, what did I have? I can't remember. I think I had my TV on, but I didn't have the sound on. And I was doing I think it was a crossword puzzle, and I also think that I had music on, like my iPod on, and was listening to some songs and whatever. And I was sitting like in the middle of my bed, and because it was in the evening, I have a baby monitor, so I had that on in my room, and I had my door closed, slammed closed. And this happened about a few occasions after this, but the first one, I was sitting, and my door is this is an older house. I would say probably like 1970s build type of house. It's a townhouse, two floors, and the way they put the doors in, like the frame and the door, like they didn't accommodate enough room for the door against the frame, so it's a tight squeeze. When you close it, it makes noise. You can hear the door closing when you push it closed, because it scrapes against it and it goes eek, kind of like little squeak noise when it closes. And then you got to push it all the way closed, and you can hear the little latch thing inside. You can hear it latch and go click, like a little click, like it's fully closed. And in order to open it from the outside, you have to, like, you pull the handle, and then you either, like, with your arm, or like sometimes I do like the sides of my body, and you got to give it like a little nudge push, because of how tight the door is to the door frame. It's not like a newer model build where you open the door and you can just freely open and close it, no problem. This one is like where it rubs up against the door frame, and you can see on the top where it rubs, how there's paint chipping from it rubbing and stuff. And well, that one night I was just doing my thing, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, because at the time it was just me and my daughter. That was before my husband was living with me, and it was way before I ever had my cat. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like, you know, you see stuff out of like the corner of your eye. I seen something out of the corner of my eye. I look up, and then all of a sudden I see literally my bedroom door like open. It like opened a little bit. So it wasn't like fully open, but it was just open enough for it to be noticeable. And I kind of was like, I remember closing my door all the way, you know, like, and for it to get open, you would like literally have to hear that noise when it opens, and I didn't. So I freaked out, and I was kind of like, hello, kind of like, you know, like trying not to be too noisy, because my daughter was sleeping next door. So I'm like freaked out to go look, and then I go look out. The first thing I turn the corner just like slightly and look in the bathroom, make sure there's no one in there, and then I go downstairs, and I'm just like, hello, and I go looking, and I don't see anything. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I come back and stuff, and then I'm just like kind of doing back to my thing, and then I'm kind of like still a little bit slightly freaked out by it. And I think nothing of it. And then after, it's kind of like whatever, you know. But then another night, I happened to be doing the same thing. I can't remember if at this point I was listening to music or not, because I think there might have been one time where it happened where I was not listening to music, I think. I was I was like sitting in bed, and the same thing happened where this time I actually seen it happen, where I literally seen the whole door open, like not all the way, but the same amount as the last time I seen it, literally watched it open. And then I was like extremely freaked out by this, because I'm like, what the heck? And so I was at the point where my daughter was still pretty young, and then I go into the bathroom, I'm like, hello, looking around, and then I go do my downstairs checks again, and I'm just like, hello, and I don't see anything. So then I come back up, and then I'm sitting on the bed, and I'm just like super freaked out, because I'm like literally just staring at the door, like just like waiting to see if like something's gonna happen, like if the door's gonna like move some more and stuff. And at that point, I don't think I didn't, but I was still kind of freaked out and still kind of like aware of my surroundings. So I'm like, if there's like a ghost or like a spirit or something, you know, like, is it like standing in the doorway? Is it like, you know, standing near my bed on either side? And I'm like, I don't know if I can, you know. I was a little uncomfortable, you know, like going back to doing what I was doing, and I was pretty hyper aware about my whole surroundings and stuff. And then that was, I think it happened at least 2 or 3 times with the door, which is kind of a bit freaky, you know. I'm like, because I know this house is a bit older, and I knew the guy who used to live here before I did, because we just rent our townhouse. So, and I'm like, I know the guy who lived here before, but I don't know how long he lived here for, or any of the past history. But I'm like, this is not like super old, so I doubt that anyone's died in here. But I do have some relatives that, you know, have passed on. My dad passed away about almost 9 years ago, so I thought, you know, like maybe it was him or something like that. I wasn't like sure. I'm just like kind of like whatever. After that, I haven't really noticed anything more with the door. It's kind of stopped a bit, so I don't know if it was, you know, like a temporary thing, you know, because I definitely know I wasn't imagining it, because once the door closes, it's closed, and it'll make a noise, and that's why it freaked me out. Is like, how did my door get open without me being able to like hear it, you know? And I think it could have been, I don't know if it was during the summertime or if it was during the wintertime that happened, but like I know there was like no breezes, no windows open or anything. Like, I do constantly keep a fan on by my bed, but the wind wasn't blowing that direction. And in order for the door to open, you would have to have a draft coming from the back end to push it open. So the only other window that is upstairs is in my daughter's room, but of course I kept that closed, and there is no other openings upstairs for that to even like be able to happen. I'm gonna quickly try and see if I can show you my door and what it sounds like. This is my door here, as you can see. I don't know if you'll be able to see if I can show you up top, but if you can see right up here, along here, there, where am I going? Right up here, I don't know if you will be able to see how the paint has chipped off up there, but this is what my door looks like, and of course that's my daughter's room. And the bathroom, as you can see, is right next door to me, and I don't know if you will build, let's see if I can show you the door. It's hard to show you the. Oh, here we go. You can see right here all the chips from the door and how right here and how tight it is against the door frame. But I will show you what it sounds like when it's closed. That's what it sounds like when it's closing, and then when it locks, you push, and then you can hear the little click. And then, of course, when you open, it does make like a little bit of noise. Come out and show you from this end when you close the door. Close it. Makes that really big, loud noise. And sometimes when you open the door, it gets tough and you gotta pull. And sometimes when you have to open, you push a little because it does rub up against there. So, hope you enjoyed it.